So I'm Katie Crocker. I am the CEO of AMSSA, and I would like to acknowledge that I am on the unceded and ancestral and stolen lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations here in Burnaby, British Columbia, where our office is located. But I also want to add to our territorial acknowledgement. So we had an opportunity to meet with a beautiful, wonderful Indigenous woman named Geraldine Webster. And Geraldine's been doing some work with us this past year on some of our learning modules and our dialogue circles. And one of the things Geraldine suggested is that we add an action item to our territorial acknowledgement. And in doing that, it holds us to a higher level of accountability. And so Geraldine actually gifted us with a statement to add to our territorial acknowledgement. And so I would also like to add that as an organization, AMSSA is committed to creating a safe space for Indigenous voices. And I'd like to thank Geraldine for the gift of that statement, which we will be adding to our territorial acknowledgements. And so what that indicates to us at AMSSA is just how important it is for us to be in good relations and in good relationship. And so I think over the last year, we really have worked hard as an organization to be in good relation and good relationship with many different groups and organizations to advance the work of AMSSA, but also, more importantly, to make sure that our members have access to many different supports and resources so that they can provide better services and more comprehensive services for newcomers that they serve. So some examples of that. AMSSA is very active with the UBC Centre for Migration Studies this past year, and I sit on the executive committee as the community representative, and we are working with the Centre for Migration Studies to have a community advisory board where many AMSSA members are actively involved in helping the UBC Centre for Migration Studies connect in with settlement service providers to really understand what their research needs are and make that connection between researchers and the sector to advance the work of the sector. Other relationships that we've worked really hard on this past fiscal year is Pathways to Prosperity, always a favorite of AMSSA's. I have been honored to be elected the co-chair of Pathways to Prosperity as Jean McRae has retired from the sector. And so Pathways to Prosperity will be having our first in-person conference since the pandemic started in November of this year. And so it's been a real pleasure this year to start to take on that position as well. And then of course, Metropolis, Vancouver. In March, Metropolis had their first in-person conference since the pandemic started here in Vancouver, and many AMSSA staff attended, we presented, and we're really excited to be back in that space, working with academics and researchers and bringing the sector together so that we can really learn and grow and develop best practices based on evidence and data. So other connections that we've built this year is through things like the Provincial Refugee Response Network. So we've had an opportunity through the Ministry of Municipal Affairs to take on additional work to work with the whole province to support the integration of Afghan and now Ukrainians into the communities within the provinces. So really looking at it from a community-based approach, so leveraging relationships that organizations have within their communities. Again, coming back to that in relationship theme that I think we're really seeing this year. We've worked with the Ukrainian National Secretariat, we've worked with the Afghan National Steering Committee, which are both national steering committees. AMSSA has taken a really active role in supporting AMSSA with their work with the Ukrainian Secretariat and also with the work with the Afghan National Steering Committee. So we've increased our engagement as well this year with the Francophone community and are working closely with La Fédération de Francophones de la Colombie-Britannique, or the FFCB, to look at what are some ways that we can support diversity and inclusion in workplaces through a Francophone lens. And so I've had some really great talks with the team at the FFCB and are really looking forward to building on some opportunities for working with them as well. So the partnerships with academics and the partnerships within the sector, through the PRN and the Secretariat, those are really awesome partnerships that we've built over years and in relationship. So something that really stands out for 2021-2022, when we look at this theme of being in relationship, is around the connections that we're making with organizations outside of the sector. And we've really seen an increase in our engagement with organizations such as the BC Nonprofit Housing Association, where we've gathered together with them to look at some opportunities for creating a provincial housing strategy for refugees and newcomers. And so that was a really great opportunity to come together association to association and look at how we can build partnerships and relationships to advance the conversation around housing and the housing crisis that is impacting all British Columbians. But we need to look at it from that refugee lens, from that newcomer lens. And working with the BC NPHA, I think, is a really great way of engaging. Other partnerships with organizations like the United Way. We have a really cool partnership with the federal department that we've never engaged with before, Innovation, Science and Economic Development, or ISED, who's supporting the Ukrainian Secretariat on donations and looking at how we can support corporate donations coming through so that organizations have access to those donations. And of course, a relationship that I think has become so deep and meaningful for AMSSA is with the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. We've had an opportunity to connect with their national body and also with the provincial representatives for the UCC, and really had deep, meaningful conversations and engagement, and seen the needle move dramatically in terms of what supports we're able to provide to organizations working directly with Ukrainians who are coming to the province. And so with all of this, we've seen an increase in our funding and an increased investments in our services from IRCC, from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, ESDC, WorkSafe BC, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts, Culture and Sport, and then organizations like UBC and Toronto Metropolitan University, who are really understanding the need to invest in the sector to be able to have the input and insight into their research projects. And so I want to acknowledge our funders and thank our funders for working with us and engaging with us in such meaningful ways. And I want to thank our board. We have an amazing board who have worked so hard this year as we've taken on increased projects, increased activities, increased funding. And with that, we have also really increased our staff. As things are starting to open up and we're starting to be in person more, really amazing opportunity to bring together an amazing team of staff. We have 28 staff at AMSSA now, and the team is working really, really hard to build these relationships and sustain and maintain these relationships. And our thanks is always with our members, and our heart of our organization is our membership. And so a huge amount of gratitude and pride in the work that our members are doing. It's our 45th AGM, and so I'm really excited to say happy 45th anniversary, AMSSA, and we are really looking forward to another amazing year. And so I think now I would love to have you go and meet some of our team and take a tour around our office and get to know some of the staff and some of the great work that we're doing.
Can you tell me a little bit about the communications team and the operations team for the annual report video?
Hi, I'm Melissa J. I'm the Director of Operations and Communications. I oversee AMSSA's operations and communications. I'll introduce you to Saida starting here.
Hi, my name is Saida Fogani and I'm the Finance and Office Administrator of AMSSA.
Hi, I'm Nima Ejercito. I'm the Office Coordinator for AMSSA.
Hi, I'm Sabrina Karimi and I'm the Communications Assistant at AMSSA.
Hello, I'm Winnie. I'm the Exec Assistant at AMSSA.
Hi, I'm Tristan Schnetzler and I'm the Communications Specialist at AMSSA.
Hi, I'm Lucy Sherlock and I'm also a Communications Assistant at AMSSA.
And I am Connor Aslan. I'm the Multimedia Specialist at AMSSA.
We are currently planning our annual general meeting, so we're super excited about the Human Rights panel we are having.
Saida, do we have any new AMSSA members this year?
Yes, we do. We have 4 new members. I'd like to welcome the Boys and Girls Club of South Coast BC and Seniors First BC.
Welcome also to Aspect and New to BC. We're happy to have you on board.
Sure, my name is Jess Hanna. I'm the Language Program Manager here at AMSSA. And one project that we're working on right now is recruiting new members for the Settlement Language Working Group.
I'm the Language Program Coordinator. My name is Ming, and one thing I'm working on is the link newsletters. So coming in October and also next year January. And that's one of the bigger items we're working on because our members in the settlement language working group are having the feedback that we need more resources to support the frontline workers and the instructors. So that's one of the items we are really working on that for this year.
Sure. Well, my name is Jason Lee. I'm the program manager for the Provincial Refugee Resource Network. It's a fairly new initiative at AMSSA, and its purpose is to support community capacity to support displaced Ukrainians and resettled refugees. So we do that through education activities, information and resource sharing. It's a fairly new initiative at AMSSA, so I'm pretty excited to get started on it and see what comes out of it.
Thank you. My name is Indira Castro. I'm the program coordinator within the Ukrainian Migration Response here in BC, and I'm working with all activities and initiatives related to the Ukrainian migration response.
I'm Rebecca Ferguson, and I have been supporting several projects across the team this year. I worked with BCSIS on a variety of projects, and now I'm also supporting some settlement and integration projects as well.
I am Nabil Marou. I am the Francophone Engagement Manager, and my role is to support the Francophone in BC for the service delivery in settlement integration. And what is exciting in my job is to empower the English sector to this cause.
Yes, of course. So Operation Ukrainian Safe Haven is a national coordinated initiative that plans the post-arrival phase for displaced Ukrainians arriving in Canada, and it's led by Chris Reason and Katie Crocker, the two senior advisors, and we're a team of 5 people and others as well supporting the operation. But I think I'll let everyone introduce themselves.
Hello everyone, I am Nangyalai and I work as a corporate donation manager with AMSSA.
Hello, my name is Jun Cho and I'm working as a data analyst.
I'm Kenya, and I am the Digital Communications Specialist.
Thanks, everyone.
My name is Zhenya Avramenko. I'm a Program Coordinator and working for the Provincial Refugee Resource Network program, recently launched for displaced Ukrainians and resettled refugees.
Yeah, so we have 3 different program team members here. And so I oversee our program areas as a director of programs. And so we have Sarah, Nagin, and Wajiha, who are funded through IRCC BCY funding. And so some of the things that we've been working on is like the big thing that we've been working on is the upcoming BC Yukon Summit, which will be held as a hybrid summit November 30th and December 1st. And then Ms. Rack and Boyd both work on 2 different funded projects. Ms. Rack with Employment and Social Development Canada funded project, and Boyd with the WorkSafe BC funded project, focusing on providing supports to individuals and organizations that support migrant workers. And so there's a lot of training and capacity building that they've been working on to provide relevant tools and information to those individuals and those organizations.
I'm Laurie Cameron, and this is Marta Stefanska, Provincial Integration Program Coordinator, and we're working on projects in support of the BC Settlement and Integration Services Program.
Our BCSIS projects this year build collaborative partnerships with organizations that intersect with the settlement service sector, such as post-secondary institutions and Work BC. We provide a space for service providers to connect with peers, experts, and learn and grow through virtual information sessions, working groups, and e-learning.
We're continuing our Indigenous truth, reconciliation, and decolonization work through some collaborative e-learning projects.
The past few years have been very uncertain. There's been a lot of change. Things have happened quickly. We've had to be very engaged and responsive. We've had to be flexible. And with that, we've had this opportunity to enter into new spaces, and we've had that opportunity with the support of our funders, the support of our board, our membership, and our staff. And I am really looking forward to what this next year has to bring as this amazing team continues our work in building relationships, in supporting our membership, and ultimately co-creating the best conditions for success for newcomers here in British Columbia.